Suites. And this is another America Period exclusive. And I'm here with Jennifer Hess, a dear friend, entrepreneur, and author. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you for coming in today as well, especially with all the weather. It's crazy, right?
It is.
It is. But we have very exciting things to talk about here. Your book has been out for several months now,
Yes.
Credit for the Bust.
Credit for the Bust.
And you have a Q&A coming up soon.
At Bethel Park Library,
Okay.
February 5th at 6:30. Okay. I'll be there to do some book signings and answer some questions.
Nice. And Jennifer, for those that have never tuned in before, meeting Jennifer Hess for the first time and learning about your book, The Credit for the Bust, what's generally the book about?
Well, it's a very personal but not so private story because I ran a treatment program and we were mistargeted by a very aggressive prosecutor during the Opiate Task Force. And it's a story about what the Department of Justice at that time was willing to do to get prosecutions and even indictments and prosecutions from people that were treating people that had opiate dependency.
Oh my. And your home was raided, your offices were raided, staff were harassed. You went through a lot through this journey, right?
It's been a very, very, that was a very dark time, but I managed to keep going because we were continuing to treat patients while we were being indicted. Our treatment program never stopped. So while I was dealing with this, I'm dealing with people and making sure that they're okay at the same time.
And still today in 2026, you're still helping patients,
well,
right?
Well, that's the thing that I tell people that believe everything that they read. I'm like, if I did an eighth of what they said I did, would they have given me the blessing to continue as the owner and operator of Redirections, what they called at the time a pill mill and a drug cartel?
Which, and I'm glad you mentioned that point as well, Jennifer, because correct me if I'm wrong, I see commercials on TV these days promoting the exact medication that you were administering.
That is
right?
correct.
Yes? Am I crazy on this
correct.
one?
There was very little known about buprenorphine at the time. It was commonly known as Suboxone at the time.
Right.
But after these indictments, the prosecutors and the government had to become educated on it because they were prosecuting it. Well, they became educated on it after indictments, and so they learned during that period that what the doctors at my company were prescribing was something that was actually helping what was the intended goal, which was to reduce the overdose rates. And so, of course, I'd mentioned before, it didn't stop them because once they had put all this effort and money into our indictments and raid of like 110 to 130 agents.
Oh, my.
I don't think that they should be able to, but I don't think that a prosecutor can go, oops, and say, you know what, if we saw anything there that we thought needed to be handled, maybe we'd just turn us over to the medical board or somebody, the DEA needs to talk to them. But no, they campaigned on lies. They still followed through with prosecutions. There was manipulation, threats of more indictments if we didn't cooperate.
Crazy.
Found out other things that I'll talk about at the book signing. Okay. That are equally as disturbing.
You've learned more since writing the book?
Yes, writing the book was interesting because it was like an investigation because I kept wanting materials and I would look things up. So I'd find things out and I'd put them in the book. The book started as my defense that I was helping to prepare my attorney for, but that did not work out well for me. And I don't think very well for him either. But and then it became just this investigation that I was doing to make the book. But since then, I've had people coming to me, telling me things that are very disturbing and shocking, really. I didn't realize how deep and how much they were willing to do in order to pressure. And they ask you if you were pressured, and I think that's a kind of a stupid question because, of course, you are.
Well,
you're manipulated.
Right, exactly. Anyone who has to deal with the judicial system, I know from firsthand experience. It's scary, it's scary. Yes, you are. I don't want to say coerced, but there is that pressure,
well, you're
right?
terrified. It's like an out-of-body experience, and you're living in that role, and you're trying to function, and you're living like outside of yourself, dealing with this, not realizing that this is kind of standard protocol for them. They use these tactics with other people.
Oh, my.
And I think that one of the Supreme Court justices just published a book about over-indictments in the United States, and I think he said something to the effect of that the average adult commits 8 felonies a day because of the overregulation in the United States. And we were collateral damage as a part of it. We were helping people, and we got kind of caught up in this task force, and as a result, it really, not just for myself, but for the whole treatment community, because the medication that had this terrible stigma on it, it was demonized, and so then you had prescriber hesitancy, outright refusal, pharmacies that won't carry it, and like you said, now you go, you're watching television and you see this.
Yeah, you see the commercials. And I believe just very recently the President of the United States, President Trump, signed an executive order regarding, or was it a bill? That part I haven't had a chance to take a look at yet, but I believe he signed at least an EO right now that really helps further the addiction and mental health and recovery community. Correct. Actually, how do you feel about that?
Actually, it wasn't long after our indictments that the President Donald Trump actually extended access to buprenorphine. So that was happening at the same time we were being prosecuted. The administration was extending access to buprenorphine.
To save lives,
that's right? That was back in 2021.
Okay.
And then, which, of course, we're happy about because that's my passion. I want to make sure that people have access to the medication. And then, because after the task force, the overdose rates doubled. And I think it had a lot to do with not just the drugs that are on the street and the flooding of the fentanyl, but it had to do with the fact that buprenorphine had been targeted and people just couldn't find treatment. And then now, all of those things have been reversed. And just recently, the president announced this initiative to help treat addiction and dependency and a national recovery, and which should be music to my ears.
Yes.
But in a way, it sends a shiver up my spine because I experienced what I experienced. When
you were a pioneer, and then you became essentially collateral damage.
The stress and everything that it took from me, during that time. I mean, it's in the book. I listed everything that I lost, and even if I read it today, I get emotional.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, because I mean, it was just it seems like so long ago because this was like 7.5 years ago, but the emotions they come up just as if it just happened, just like PTSD does.
It is PTSD. I would agree with that.
Absolutely. I'm tearing up right now, but
I don't have any tissues laying around here. Uh-oh.
I'm stronger than that. I'm a stronger person for what I was put through, and I'm a better counselor.
Amen. So we're going to dive deep into the book, and you're going to share a bunch of the other things you've learned since publishing your book at this Q&A. And this is at Bethel Park Library, Thursday, February 5th, correct?
February 5th, next Thursday at 6:30. I'll be there to answer any questions. And
sign the book. We get autographs, right?
I don't mind tough questions either. I actually, I enjoyed the tough questions because I know the truth. I know what happened, and I know what was going on in my company. Challenge
accepted. I will be that person, Jennifer.
Do it.
So the book, Credit for the Bus, Jennifer Hess. Where can they get this book?
So it's for sale on Amazon. It's available in hard copy, soft copy, and Kindle.
Nice.
And I think that it only takes like 2 to 3 days to get the book. So if you wanted to have the book for the book signing, you still have time to get it.
Awesome. I love it. And plus you'll have copies available to purchase at the Q&A.
I hope so. I ordered author's copies, but because of the weather, that might delay the delivery, so I may not. But I'll be doing other book signings in the future, so
I hope
if I don't have my book, books for sale there, you'll have plenty of time to get them on Amazon.
Sure, yeah. You can go on Amazon. The Credit for the Bust. Let me see that cover again. Very nice cover, too, I must say. It is a very well-written book and totally professionally done, so very awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man. I really do.
Well-written, great author, great entrepreneur. Jennifer Hess, a great friend. So make sure you come on Thursday, February 5th, Bethel Park Library, meet Jennifer Hess, get a copy of the book, ask some tough questions, get an autograph, have some fun, hang out with us, and much more.
I just want to say thank you to Matt for giving me this opportunity to get more exposure on the book. It's very difficult when you're somebody like me. I don't really have a platform. I'm not looking to be an influencer. I just want to make sure that people get the treatment that they need, and I want to be a part of helping to reduce the stigma on this life-saving medication.
Amen. I mean, the stigma that's associated with people in recovery, whether it's alcohol or harder drugs, people don't realize that gambling, sex, getting the latest, greatest cell phone, these can all turn into addictions.
These compulsive behaviors, give you that little
dopamine. Yep.
Absolutely.
So, thank you very much, Jennifer. Thank you very much for coming to the studio today. Always a pleasure. We look forward to seeing you at Bethel Park Library Thursday, February 5th at 6:30 p.m. And again, I'm Matt Sweets. This is America Period. And thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.